For pre-lab results, the voltage divider right here calculated out to VA equals 5/3 volts and VB equals 10/3 volts. For the Arduino code to work properly, this split tokens in string argument needs to be a comma, not a delimiter. Otherwise it won't work, because this is a comma right here. This will post a circle of radius 5. So as we see here, when we start this initial code that we have for just printing ellipses according to the potentiometer input, if I adjust the x potentiometer, it moves the ellipse in the x direction. If I adjust the y, it moves it in the y direction, creating like a line of ellipses. And then you can, of course, move these wherever you want and however fast or slow you want. So here in the serial port of the Arduino IDE, we can see that the minimum values are 0, and that's because of 0 indexing, but the maximum values are 1023, and that would be because we are using a 10-bit ADC, so the possible values are technically, according to the math, would be 1 to 1024, which is 2 to the 10th, and because we're 0 indexing, that makes our initial value 0, and our minimum value 0, and our maximum value 2 to the 10th minus 1. Here I've modified the code to make the ellipse. I just put the ellipse in the center and then set the fill to blue. Then I made sure that I can change. So right now I'm just changing the x width, and here I am changing the y width. We observed this earlier in the first part, but I just wanted to reset my ellipse width and show that it does not go past the edges. I had to demonstrate that that did that properly, so these are at maximum and minimum values around the edge here. Over here I upped the circle size, and over here I set the fill to be controlled by the x and y coordinates to go by corresponding RGB values. And so if we go all the way up to this corner, we get yellow. Go back, we get black again. Go all the way down, we get blue. And we go all the way over, we get white. So to get an ellipse moving from the left to the right of the screen in increments of 50 milliseconds, I went over to the Arduino window and set my x value into a for loop, where it would go from 0 to 1023, incrementing by 1 every 50 milliseconds. And then once we give that an upload, we see that it will run. I can still control the y, but the x is progressing. And if we just wait, and so as you see, the x values restart according to the Arduino's loop, and everything from this processing window is cleared, including the background, but more importantly, the ellipses are cleared. So here we have the processing window. We open it up, and we get the maze as the background, which I resized, and we get the marker starting at about the starting location. Then when I pull these wires down here, these act as my switches, so I have up, down, left, and right, and pulling each one of these will correspond to pulling it from ground to power will correspond to a statement in the Arduino code telling it to write an additional value to x or y. So going further, I can complete the maze. And there we are. And so now if you observe, I can let this go a little bit. So now the value is effectively above the height, and if I move it left and right, you can see that the dot remains at the top of the screen. So the dot is prevented from moving beyond the bounds, and I can demonstrate with the left and right bounds as well. Like that. All right.